Folks, I've got with me a gentleman of the blues that I was introduced to quite a few years ago, but he hasn't slowed down since I've actually listened to him. His name is David Gogo, and he's right there in the wonderful toque.
Yeah, makes me feel like a champion.
So, David, congratulations, by the way, for your June nomination on Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's 30 years since my first nomination, so it feels good to get the recognition, and it's a heck of a lineup of people that are nominated alongside of me as well. So it's good. It's going to be fun.
So tell me about Yeah. The album came out in 2024, probably towards the end. But uh, how long did it take you to actually sit down to create the album from start to finish?
I don't know. I'm always creating. And so the album itself, I think we spent 10 days in the studio. Great players. Steve Mariner producing, recorded it at Ganaraska Recording Company, Jimmy Boskill's place, and Gary Craig on the drums, and it was fantastic. So the actual recording didn't take long, but I've always got this songwriting um, kind of radar going, and we're always playing music. So it's just a lifelong thing. That's just the latest kind of offering.
Okay. So you sat down, did this, and I listened to it 3 times to make certain I was understanding the album. The flow of the album is awesome, to say the least. It shows a grand quality to it that you've always been portraying. And the folks, if you didn't know anything about David Gogo, he had the chance to actually meet up with Stevie Ray Vaughan behind stage when he was younger, and Stevie encouraged him to continue doing the blues. And now you're the one that's actually encouraging people, if they approach you, to actually do this.
Yeah, I think that's important. I try to keep that in mind. How certain artists treated me with so much respect and tolerance, I guess. But when I was a young guy, so I try to do the same. If I see someone that I think is a great singer or musician, I try to offer any encouragement that they might want to seek. I don't want to tell people what to do, but I'm definitely there to offer advice if I can. Just because I had that, with people like Albert Collins or Stevie Ray Vaughan, just to name a couple.
The list is long. That's all I know about your illustrious career. You've sat with the greats. B.B. King is the first name that comes up to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you just came off from Midwinter Festival. I think it was Saskatchewan, just recently. How was that for you this year?
Fantastic. I love getting out and playing in the prairies, and the pandemic kind of stopped that for me. And it was also nice to play with my band. Quite often when I play in Saskatchewan, I'll go out as a solo artist, because then I can play some of the smaller towns and do some exploring. So it was nice to kind of rock out and just to get back there and see some of the folks. I had I actually spent a few extra days just visiting some people I know in southeastern Saskatchewan. So anytime I get out there to play in that land, I'm always into it.
Yeah. Just to name a few things, David, has been nominated for Blues Album of the Year. Then 2016, you were on Vicksburg Call, which was Blues Album of the Year. 2014, the same thing for Come On Down. 2012, Soulbender, and 2007, Acoustic, where you decided to go just solo acoustic. And 1995 for Best New Solo Artist, where you decided to actually emphasize the solo portion of your persona. So right now, you just came off from that festival. I understand that April 5th, you're going to make an actual appearance at Dream Cafe with your band. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm actually doing another show. We just announced I'll be doing an acoustic show in Soyuz the night before, April 4th, and then Dream Cafe in Penticton on April 5th.
Uh-huh.
Um, and we'll just continue going on into the summer. You know, we're working on all the festival dates, and some are confirmed, and some are yet to be announced. But yeah, getting out there and playing both acoustic and electric.
Nice. Okay, so you're going to be packing. That's that's the certainty of it.
Yeah.
Um, would you be doing mostly west? Well, I'm in the Maritime, so unless you actually decided to come down this way, I have a feeling it's probably going to be east.
Well, you never know. You know, it depends who wants me to play when the offers come in. Last summer we played New Brunswick, and you know, like last year I went from New Brunswick to Whitehorse to Tassus. You know, I
Oof.
was all over. I was over all over Canada. Haven't had too many chances to get back east this summer so far. We'll see. You know, that could change at the drop of a hat. You never know. But yeah, anywhere that wants to hear us play, we're willing to get out there and do it.
So apart from you being busy doing tours and promoting blues music all around Canada and some possibly in the US as well, as a person, do you even have time for hobbies?
Well, it is. I mean, my whole life is I just do my hobbies. You know, I like music, and I like there's only a few things I like in life, and those things I like a lot, and so I do them. I'd like to get back to Europe again. I used to go to Europe once a year at least, maybe even a couple times, but once again the pandemic changed that. But I've been in communication with some of the folks over there again, so hopefully we can make that a regular occurrence. Um, yeah, and I want to get back to Eastern Canada more. You know, Canada's such a huge country; it makes it difficult to tour and have it make sense, just because the gigs can be few and far between. So what I try to do is, like when I was just in Regina, I hired a rhythm section that I've worked with before out there. Then I have a band just outside of Ottawa and another band here at home in Vancouver Island. So, you know, between that and the solo shows, that's how I have it make sense.
Okay, so you plan accordingly to make certain that you can actually tour without having any cash issues.
Yeah, but there's still always those. There's always little surprises they manage to sneak in for you. You never know.
Hopefully not, and hopefully they're good surprises instead of bad ones.
Uh, we'll see.
So and I really don't know what to say except at this point I want to wish you good luck at the Junos, and
Yeah,
also sorry,
go ahead.
and also I wanted to ask, what's your favorite food dish?
Ah, well, it depends where I'm at. You know, I like to eat local. That's one thing about being a traveling musician is you get to find out about the little local specialties. And we were lamenting that the other day when I was playing in Regina. We were talking about, you know, as you go on in life, you know, things change. We were talking about some of the great restaurants we used to go to or great places to eat. Back in the old days, best clubhouse sandwich in the world was at the Wagon Wheel Restaurant in Winnipeg, but they retired about 10 years ago. And you know, there's all these different places. But you know, if I'm in Montreal, I want to go to Schwartz's and have a smoked meat sandwich. If I'm in Alberta, I want to get a good, you know, Alberta AAA steak. You know, if I'm on the West Coast, I want to get some good local prawns and seafood. So,
Oh,
man, it
nice.
depends. It depends where I'm at. You know, it depends where we're playing and what time the show is too, because I don't want to get too full before we got to rock.
No, I can imagine. There's nothing worse than getting a food cramp while you're on
Oh
stage.
yeah, yeah, that's not good.
Well, David, that's pretty much it. Unless you want to inject something that you have in your head.
No, just that you know, it's exciting about the Junos. It's like I said, a great collection of folks that are nominated this year, and So, and an interesting mix of people, and two of them are on the same record label as I'm on. Big Dave McLean and myself are both on Cordova Bay Records, so that'll make it fun. And the fact that the event is in Vancouver this year makes it a lot more accessible for me. So I'll be
Oh, yeah.
attending the awards, and we're just kind of coming up with the itinerary now of, there's all sorts of different events that weekend. So we're just going to figure out where we're going to be and how we're going to do it, and then it should be fun.
Is it going to be more of you solo or you and the band?
Yeah, I don't care either or. Yeah.
Okay, David. Well, that's pretty much the interview. Thank you so much for taking your time to actually show up. It was a great pleasure to actually see you and hear you in person.
Right on. Thanks a lot. I sure appreciate it, and we'll talk again some other time. Thank you.
Oh, most likely. Have a nice one.